Hello everyone, welcome again to Woodside SDA Youth, where we are doing 365 days with Jesus, because every single day we want to spend a special time with our Lord Jesus Christ by praying to Him and also reading His holy word. Guys, it's been a little while since we posted a video. Is because sometimes life gets hard or life gets really busy, right? And even though um, we have a lot of responsibilities, and we want to separate a special time for God. Sometimes it can be very hard, especially with all these things going on, with a lot of distractions going on in the world. It can be sometimes very, very easy, to start losing that connection that you have every single day with God. And that is the purpose of making these videos. It goes to show that also we are being affected by all everything that's going on in the world, all the chaos, all the responsibilities that need to get done, right? But we want to pray to God that He may lead this ministry, that He may lead all this entire journey that we are doing, so that even though some days we may not make videos, or some days we may not be able to read the reading, with God's help, even though there might be a little pauses there, here and there, right, throughout our daily life, throughout our weeks, throughout the months, God can help us reconnect with Him. And we know that He's going to help us carry on this journey till the end of the year. And not just end at the end of the year, but the next year He's going to help us to continue as well. So guys, if you're also feeling a little discouraged, don't worry. We are we are here with you, right? It's we're all facing all these problems together, and it's just a wonderful thing to know that you're not alone. Life is not gonna be perfect. Life is not gonna be like a smooth sailing, right? But it is very beautiful to know that even though you are going through difficulties, other people like you are going through difficulties, and when we, hold each other's hand, if we stick together, all of us during these times of difficulty, greater bonds can be created and a greater connection with God can be created. But it's very easy to let go, guys. So we want to pray with you. We also want to pray, with the people of our churches, the youth, and stuff like that, because we are going through so much things, and it can be very discouraging sometimes to keep on going forward in the spiritual journey. But with God's help, we will not give up, but we will continue to go forward. So, guys, today the reading is supposed to be Second Chronicles chapter 5 all the way to chapter 7, right? And it continues the story of King Solomon building the temple, right? And we see in chapter 5 that the temple has already been built. Now something special is happening. They bring the Ark of the Covenant into the temple. Something super, super amazing. Like, this ark was built during the time of Moses when they were in the desert and everything. And to have that ark, just placed in the new temple, in the new nation, in new capital, it was a reminder to them how far God has helped them. They started out in the desert with only tents, a small army, and now they are in a fortified city. King Solomon, the wisest man on earth, built huge palaces, and like they went from tents to like pretty much a metropolis of those times, right? It was just amazing how far God has carried them, even though they had their moments of doubts, they had their moments of disobedience, but God kept giving them chance after chance so that they could keep going forward. In chapter 6 of Second Chronicles, we see Solomon praying to dedicate the temple only to God, and it's something that a lot of people still kind of do today. And I think it's a good model for us to keep. Solomon obviously built this temple for God, and he's praying to dedicate that temple for God. But there are times where we can also kind of copy what Solomon did, in our everyday lives. When we get a new car, is some people like to dedicate that car, saying, God, I'm gonna use this for my transportation, for my job, but I also want to use this for your ministry. Giving rights to those who don't have, public transportation, access to public transportation, or those who live really far, and you want to bring them to church so that it can be easier for them. You can say, God, I want to dedicate this new car that you have given me so that I can help other people come to church. So that when the church has a big event and they need transportation help, I can offer this car so that we can all work together in the ministry, right? So the same way Solomon dedicated this temple, I think a lot of us should dedicate a lot of things that God gives us to his ministry. For example, it can be a house. Maybe you bought a huge house and you say, you know what, I'm going to dedicate one room so that if I see a canvasser coming by, if I see a missionary coming by, or someone from church needs a place to stay, they can come and stay in my house. Or you can say, I'm going to dedicate my backyard, right? Anytime um, the church youth want to have a special event or a social night, right? They can come to this backyard because God, you have blessed me with a huge backyard and I want to dedicate it to you. This is something that we can all practice because God gives us blessings so that we can bless other people. In chapter 10, we see the dedication of the temple, and the Lord appears to Solomon in such a wonderful, wonderful scene. Guys, it's just an amazing scene how Solomon, at the beginning of the story, he felt very, very unworthy to take up this role as the new king. He had big shoes to fill. King David, even until now, non-Christians, everybody don't even know who King David was. Back then, I'm pretty sure the entire world knew who King David was. Solomon needed to step up. He was the next king, and it must have been such a nerve-wracking experience for him. But God made it all happen. He gave him wisdom. We see Solomon building this huge temple for God, something that was promised, to come, to be present. David thought he was going to build it, but now it was Solomon. And Solomon did his best, and he dedicated this temple. Guys, there's going to be times where we are going to be called to step up to positions that we think we are unworthy of. Maybe God calls you to be a pastor, a teacher, an elder, a director, and you may say, I feel so like unworthy, unprepared, unqualified to step up to this position. The person before me left a legacy, right? And like you may tell yourself, I'm no good for this and I'm scared. It's okay to be scared. But guys, same thing with Solomon. Like he didn't have all the accomplishments his father did. Like his father, from a kid, he was already a war hero. Solomon's a full-grown adult, just inheriting everything his father did. He felt so unworthy. He said, I didn't do that much work to get here. Maybe you didn't work, maybe you feel like you don't deserve what the positions that you got. But guess what? God qualifies the call. So if you receive those calls to do those things, it's because God is calling you. You may feel unready, unprepared, not having enough resources to step up to the challenge, to the step up to the new position. But if God called you, God will lead you. And if you dedicate your time, if you dedicate your entire house, your resources to God, the same way Solomon did, God will appear to you. And God will dwell in your house. God will guide you every step of the way. You will make mistakes. You will, make big errors. That's gonna have, that's gonna cause some stuff. But with God, even though those mistakes come, even though those obstacles appear in the way, you're gonna be able to overcome. The same way God appeared to Solomon, the same way God is going to appear in your life. Guys, let us never forget this. If recently God has blessed you with something, let's say a new job, let's say, He gave you a raise, if He has given you probably new clothes, you can, dedicate all those things to God. You can say, God, thank you for this. I have some other clothes that are still kind of new because you have blessed me with new clothes. This other clothes that I have that are still great condition, I'm going to dedicate it to you. You can go and do some soup kitchen. If God gives you a day off, you can use that day off, to reconnect with God or to do some ministry to other people. You have a new job, you can say, God, I want to dedicate a special portion of my paycheck to helping your children, to helping the ministry of the church. But there's a lot of things you can dedicate to God. And if you, decide to do this thing of dedicating a lot of things to God, you will see God's power working in your life. Um, and there's many times where where I had blessings from God, and I just want to just enjoy those blessings for myself, and be happy with what God has given me. But we need to realize that God has gives us things So not to only bless us, but to also be a blessing to so many other people. A lot of people need it, and you don't even know this, but you actually feel really, really blessed when you help other people. And it's just I think it's a gift from God, a special feeling that God has given us. You know, I feel like once we, or the times that we practice showing love to other people, helping other people, and we get that wonderful feeling inside of us. I feel like that's kind of like our body going back to how it was created in the beginning. We were created to worship God. We were created to, in a perfect nature, created to obey God and stuff like that. And when we do these nice things and we get that wonderful feeling inside of us, it's kind of like, man, we're kind of touching, the old creation, how we were supposed to be. Right now, we are trapped in this body that, Satan has put in us, a body that is degraded by sin. But soon and very soon, we are going to see the King again. So, guys, um, if you want to dedicate something in your life to God, it can be your career, it can be your new car, it doesn't even have to be new, it can be your car, it can be your house, a special room in your house, it can be a portion of your paycheck. If you want to dedicate something to God, the same way Solomon dedicated that temple to God, I would like you, to leave a comment saying, I want to dedicate something for God. I want to dedicate my life. I want to dedicate this and that for God. Let us know. If you have any other questions about this reading, please message us. We would like, to learn along with you, so that this cannot just be an experience of, us people saying, oh, I read this, I read that, but in our understanding that we get from reading these passages, these chapters, we may come together and share the blessings and the news that God has given us as we read His Bible. So, guys, this has been the reading for today. God bless you, and I'll see you again next time.